Okay, so it's about 4:42 in the morning. I just got done showering. I just took a breathing treatment. That's why it looks a little bit red up here. And I'm going to get ready to go to the gym and start a brand new week. Last Saturday was my and my girlfriend's 6-year anniversary together. And kind of went a little bit off the deep end, but it was a big year to celebrate. And I just want to say happy anniversary again to my girlfriend, and let's get to the car and we'll resume our daily talk. And so here we are at the car, just letting it warm up. Excuse the noise if you do hear it. My heater makes a loud noise. Don't worry, it's not broken or anything. It's just really obnoxiously loud for the little sports car that I have. Yeah, so this weekend was me and my girlfriend's 6th anniversary. I honestly can't believe it. And some things happened there that it's a little bit embarrassing because, we went to the aquarium and I'm so big and I'm so out of shape that part of the way through, after we were going up and down the ramps and the stairs and stuff like that, I had to stop and take a break to breathe and sit down. And, I don't know if I was having a panic attack because I was around all these people. And I have a little bit of the OCD. So, when I hear somebody cough or whatever, and that was like a cough factory in there, and I don't know if it was a combination of that, some of the regular heart issues I'm going through right now, or, out of shape and just being fat, I felt my heart start to really race and I was really hard to breathe. And, I had to stop partway through, and I just, I faked it to my girlfriend saying like, oh, I'm just having a little bit of asthma, or, I'm just texting my brother, which I wound up texting him, but, just for the cover-up story. And, that was really embarrassing. And, I didn't have the guts to tell her that, like, I don't know what's going on. And, I have my cardiologist appointment coming up soon, and, maybe it's something like that. Maybe, thankfully, maybe it's just that I was fat, and, that's, I have, when I went to the pulmonologist, I had severe lung obstruction, and not the pulmonologist, the allergist, where they did the breathing test, and they found out that my lungs had severe obstruction, and my asthma was really effing bad, as really as bad as you can get almost. And I didn't realize that this is how bad I was. And people think being obese and being over 400 pounds is, gluttony. It is. I mean, when you get down to it, it is a little bit of gluttony. But there's a lot of shame that already goes into being big. And there's a lot of big people, and I know myself included, that feel bad about being so big. And anybody who is morbidly obese, even though they might say, oh, positive at every size, it's kind of a lie you tell yourself, because, I already have a heart defect. I already came through cancer before. And I think to myself, why am I still torturing myself? Why am I still gaining weight? And do I think that, is this a underlying thing of something that's psychosomatic? Do I feel the need to punish myself with food? Because, I never did drink. I never did any drugs. Food was always my emotional crutch. How I handled my parents' divorce, how I handled, any stress in my life, how I handled pretty much everything. Like, I didn't go to my prom. Both proms I didn't go. I just sat home and ate. And, instead of going to college parties, just go home and eat. I'd go to work, night work in community college, and then I'd go to class in the morning, and then come home, eat something unhealthy, and go to bed. And then wake up and do it all over again. Then crashed out during 2020. And, you know, I've had periods where, like, I lost a lot of weight, gained it back, lost a lot of weight, gained it back. And, you know, it's always this, like, core fundamental part in my body. And it's like, why do I keep doing it? Why do I keep punishing myself? Why do I keep doing it? Why do I feel the need that I am not worthy enough to be loved or to be accepted? And I feel like I'm kind of at a weird crossroads in life, where I feel like I'm either on the cusp of victory, or I'm going to throw it all away and eat myself into an early grave, which is not something I want to do. And, you know, it's hard having, you know, depression. And, you know, I go to a therapist, and I've been in therapy, and after cancer, I went into a intense support group with Life After Cancer. And, you know, when you sort of look into the abyss like that, like when I had cancer and now I'm celebrating my 6-year anniversary, I keep thinking of, instead of I'm grateful to be here, it's like, oh man, I can't believe that I'm here. I'm like, am I meant to be here? And, you know, I had a lot of good friends I lost to cancer, as I said in episode 1. I lost probably one of the biggest father figures I had in my life, Master Kim, who was one of my old Taekwondo Hapkido teachers, pass away from cancer. And I'm losing my good friend Dr. Lee to cancer now. And I think of, like, I guess I might have a little bit of survivor's guilt that my cancer, you know, was not as bad as theirs. And I think, what was the meaning behind that? And, you know, I've kind of gotten to a place with cancer, sort of, where I'm like, you know, it wasn't anybody's fault, you know, because the kind I had was genetic. And sorry, I get breaking up when I talk about this stuff. And it's just not anybody's fault. Like, it wasn't like I was a smoker or I was a drinker. And sorry, I just need to sit with this for a second. It was nobody's fault, but, you know, it's just how life is. You know, it wasn't God sending it to punish me. It wasn't me doing something to punish myself. It's just kind of like, that's something that, along with some of the more traumatic stuff from my childhood, you know, I naturally just carry it. And I think of, you know, does the burden get lighter? And I notice it to a certain extent. Like, it doesn't feel as raw, you know, coming 3 years out of it almost, because next month will be the 3-year anniversary of me finding out that I had it. Because I found out on I think it was the day before Valentine's Day. And I just opened up a gift for my girlfriend from Prime, and she called me, and, you know, it was a Rocky Balboa blanket that I still sleep with, and because Rocky's my favorite movie. And I just got off a thing, because I'm also in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. I had a thing with the Coast Guard, and then my girlfriend called me afterwards, and then that's when I got my final call, and I was like, man, this is weird that they're calling me on 5 p.m. on a Friday. And, you know, my doctor said, Mr. Mulholland, you might want to sit down. We got some test results. And I was like, okay. And, you know, that's when he said, you know, I don't know how else to tell you this, but, you know, you were diagnosed with a neuroendocrine tumor of the stomach. And that's the moment I felt everything drop inside of me. And I thought of, is this how the story ends? Did I waste my life, you know, eating? Because I was over 400 back then. You know, it was heavier than I am now. And I think of, did I waste my life? Is this all my book was in, you know, just surviving college, surviving school, and now this is how it ends. That I had cancer, and then I'm gonna die. Real ugly conversations you have when you get diagnosed with that. And I think part of me is traumatized from that, and it's not like the kind of traumatized where you're like, oh no, I need my blankie and hide in the corner, but like, you know, it's always kind of like, what if it comes back? What if? And you know, you can't live on the what ifs, you have to live on what's now. And what's now is, you know what, I don't know if it's going to come back. Nobody knows. You know, even my doctors doesn't know, so it's just more of, we're going to keep an eye on it and see what happens. So, you know, it could come back in 5 years. It could come back never. But, you know, I think the reason why I want to go on this fitness journey is because it feels like it's the right time. Because I finished my undergrad, and I did a lot of things I thought I couldn't. You know, I thought, you know, I grew up having dyslexia, and you know, I was never a straight A student. I was always kind of like a BC kid. And, you know, I graduated with honors, and I'm conquering life. I should be on top of the world, and I don't feel it. Because, you know, I don't feel like I'm there physically. And that's the ugly truth. And I know I've rambled a little bit in the beginning part of this video, but I've just been feeling some angst on my chest that I felt like I needed to share. And talking, I know only maybe like 1 or 2 people regularly watch my videos, and I'm kind of talking into the void a little bit, but I feel like I needed to have this little bit of a video diary to talk about how I'm feeling. And since I'm at that transitional period in my life. And so, yeah, I will see you guys at the gym. Not to change the subject off of a really morbid and sad one to let's go get swole, but what are you gonna do? I'm still new to this. Okay, so we're back at the gym. Now back to our regular scheduled programming. Sounded like a bunch of jumbled up words there. But anyways, let's get started on the weightlifting routine. And hey, look, my skin's glowing from the face wash. But anyways, let's get started and let's get this day conquered. So right now I'm doing dumbbell chest press of about 40 pounds. Feeling pretty good, so let's keep going. Okay, so we burned 614 calories just lifting weights. Gonna hop on cardio and yeah, let's get it done. Just short of 2 1/10 mile, 0.01 away from 2.1 miles. 565 calories burnt. Over 1,000 calories burnt this morning. Whew. Got the day started off right. Gonna shower, head to the car, then I'll drive home, get some breakfast, chill out for a minute, go to work. So here we are back at my car. Just finished working out. You might see some steam coming off of me because I just got out of the shower at the gym. I'm showered, gonna go home, grab an overshirt because showing up in just a t-shirt is not work professional. Who would have thought? But anyways, so we're gonna go back to the house, grab my dinner or lunch or breakfast. I'm sorry, we'll get one of these. Anyways, yeah, so I got fully ready and it's not even time to go to work just yet. So I think we got a new morning routine. Get up at 4, take a shower before the gym to wake me up, take a treatment, and off to the gym. So here we are. Another day, another week to conquer, and here we are. And I gotta go get gas before I start running out of time. So I will see you in the next part.